You know, I'm, as you may or may not know, an avid hiker, and this yesterday I went out hiking and I went out to this place called. I just went out hiking and I saw that there was this place called Pirates Cove, and I thought, oh, that sounds cool. So I went out that way, and at about half an hour in, I stopped, and I was about to turn back, and I said, this is kind of becoming about the about the workout. Is just like, oh, I've done my allotted half hour of cardio, so I'll just turn back right now. But no, it should be about the destination. And it was only like another quarter of a mile to this Pirates Cove, so I decided I'm going to keep on going. So I kept on going, and then the trail started going like this. It just kept getting steeper and steeper as you got to the beach, and I was thinking, okay, this is going to require rock climbing, isn't it? And I am not a rock climber, I'm a hiker. So, yeah, I chickened out and turned back because I was thinking, you know what? If I don't have someone there to spot me, this is the danger of hiking alone. If I don't have someone there to spot me, I might slip and fall. And even if I do make it down there, what if I never be able, what if I can't get back up? It's just, so, yeah, I just turned around. It wound up being a little longer hike than I'd planned, but, now I know. It's like, if you ever go to Pirates Cove, go there with a friend. Live and learn. Yeah, so we're gonna get back into the memories of things, and since we're in summer, and since I've kind of been on this swimming kick, it's we've had the swimming at lakes, we had the water slides. What about when it's really hot outside, your parents are working or busy and can't take you out to the swimming pool? What do you do then? Well, yeah, you kind of have to find your own fun. At least back in the 70s, when people would actually water their lawns. You can't do that in California anymore because no one has lawns anymore. It's like drought conditions and everyone's trying to, xeriscape. So, yeah, but back then, I remember we would just like go play in the sprinklers all the time, and they had the various kinds of sprinklers. There was the fan type, which I would go down there and pretend I was playing piano and like put my fingers over the holes and the water would go choop, 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 choop. And then there was I forget what they call it, the one that they put in the corner and it goes it's onomatopoeia day at the Marindia Productions today. But yeah, I didn't like those because I was kind of like getting hit by bullets of water. And then there was, of course, the classic red square spray sprinkler. It gets the corners. Just like the metal. I wonder if I could still find that at my parents' house. The old red square spray sprinkler. Which just goes in a fan thing. And it had a neat little propeller thing on top. I don't know if that actually did anything or if it was just there for show. It's just like you turn it on, it goes bzzz. That one was the most like a toy because you could just go in and like stop it and start it, stop it and start it. Because I have this little fan that spins around when the water goes through. But I remember one time, I was really young, I was like 5. And a bunch of the neighborhood kids gathered around, and we decided that, we don't have a swimming pool, so what are we going to do about a swimming pool? So my dad at the time had this white Toyota truck. So we just got out the garden hose and filled the truck bed full of water, and then we had our makeshift swimming pool in the back of my dad's truck. We were just playing around, and it was everything. It was all fun and games until the youngest person, me, fell out of the truck, got a black eye, was in pain and crying, and kids scattered to the four winds. Probably got big trouble. But, yeah, that ended pretty quick. Yeah, and of course there's the summer fun toys, like the inflatable pools, which I don't count as a real pool. I remember, I think I told you about my great aunt's cabin Guerneville. She actually had one of those Doughboy pools, which are like I guess they're like fiberglass or something. And they're not like a real pool either. They're kind of like a overgrown hot tub. But yeah, it's I remember my friend Nicholas, who I've mentioned before, and that's not his real name, and his sister Sherry, who I remember that was sort of the first time we ever met, was because we met in kindergarten, and I wanted to go home because I really hated school, and he said, "Oh, I'll be your friend. I live right down the street from you." So and it was still summer technically because it was early September, and so he invited me over to his place to play in the pool, and I thought he meant pool, but no, it's just like one of those inflatable pools, and me and him and a bunch of other neighborhood kids were playing in this pool, and I remember his sister Sherry, who was 3 years old at the time, and what she would do is she would run up to the edge of the pool, and she'd go, well, I can't get up and do it because there's not enough room here, but she'd go, 1, 2, 3, Sherry! And then she would jump into the pool. That was my earliest memory of Sherry, and like I told you, like, sadly, she died at the age of, like, 27 or 28. It was really sad. This took another dark turn, I'm sorry. But yeah, the pool toys that we had, we never had a slip and slide. My dad, we never really had brand name anything when I was a kid. We always got the off-brand stuff because I remember we never had Simon. We had the rectangular version Einstein, and we never had a Rubik's Cube. We had the Wonderful Puzzler, which is exactly the same thing, but it's off-brand. But yeah, my dad said, "Oh, you don't need a slip and slide. That's just they're just trying to rip you off. I'm like branding this thing." So what he would do was he'd just get like a plain old vinyl tarp and just lay that down on the lawn, run the garden hose over it a few times to get it nice and wet, and then he'd turn on the fan sprinkler that I mentioned earlier and have that go over it, and then you just like run down that thing. And I always hear about people, injuring themselves on a slip and slide. We never got injured. It's I think he was very careful to make sure that there was no rocks or anything underneath, or dog poop for that matter, underneath the tarp when he laid it down. But I do remember that after we'd run over it a few times and all our, summer fun was over, we'd take it up and the grass would be all mashed down underneath. But yeah, one final, pardon me, one final summer fun, it's definitely in quotes, memory here. I remembered having a water wiggle when I was a kid, but it was not a water wiggle. The water wiggle was the thing that had like that happy face on it. It was like this plastic helmet basically, and you plugged the garden hose into this thing, and then this thing would come to life, and it would just like flip around, and everyone would be happy and joyful until this thing smacked people in the head. And then, your summer fun was over. But we did not have the water wiggle. I did a little research, and what we actually had was Willy the Water Bug, which is much worse than the water wiggle. Which is why it's so obscure these days, because everyone's trying to bury this trauma of this monstrosity that Whammo produced for a very short time in the early 70s. But what Willy the Water Bug was another, happy-faced character. And happy is in quotes, mainly because Willy the Water Bug is a sadistic little bastard. And had these multiple hoses coming out, like a Medusa or something. And basically, what Willy the Water Bug was a medieval torture device. And I'm not exaggerating there. This is basically a Cat O' Nine Tails that operated under water pressure. Because, like, Dad brought this home, plugged it in, and me and my sister were joyful that we got this, branded toy, finally, after years of off-brand stuff, to play with. And 6 seconds after he turned this on, we're running into the house screaming with welts on our legs from this demonic toy that was whipping us violently after my dad turned on the hose. And I think he wound up apologizing to us profusely, taking us out for frosty chocolate milkshakes. And Willie the water bug was confined up to the loft in the garage, never to be seen again. In fact, I haven't seen it ever since Dad bought it. I might have actually thrown it out. I don't know. But anyway, I do have something to taste. But as with last week, this is a thing that happened already. So let's step into the time machine again, shall we? Hello everyone, sorry about the awkward angle, but this is the only way I could find where it wasn't completely glary, and I could actually... there wasn't anything blocking the way, so yeah. As you can see, I'm clearly a glutton for punishment, either that or just a plain old glutton, because I got the Froot Loop shake, and I sniffed it earlier and it didn't have any particular smell to it, so I'm just going to have to give this a taste here. Again, it's so vanilla-y that I can't... It seems that all the Froot Loops have kind of converged at the top, so maybe if I just sip from up there. And now they're plugging up the straw. Yeah, I don't know what it is about vanilla shakes and these sugar cereals, because it seems to take all the flavor out of them. Maybe if I just mix it up a little bit, we'll get some more of that nice synthetic fruit flavor. Because obviously I need my... Yeah, I was at Foster's Freeze earlier, so I could have done the sensible thing and just gotten a regular shake, but no, I had to have the General Mills branded cereal beverage. Yeah, I'm getting a little of the taste in there, but it's actually kind of subtle, because the vanilla is just... You wouldn't think that vanilla would be quite so overpowering, and yet it is. Funny about that, isn't it? It's just like we kind of overlook vanilla, but it's just so much of an important ingredient in all the sweet things that we have. I also tell you, this is kind of refreshing because it's been very hot today, so I don't know, this is kind of... I definitely do like this better than the Lucky Charms shake. Your mileage may vary. It's so that's all I have for now, so see ya! So, just one last thing. I think you kind of want my follow-up thoughts on both of these breakfast cereal shakes. I don't know why, but I'm going to offer them anyway. Basically, and you might have already guessed this from my reactions to them before, they're basically just gimmicky vanilla shakes. It's like someone thought, our vanilla shakes aren't selling. Well, I don't know, crush up some breakfast cereal and throw that in there. That's basically all it is. And if you want it yourself, you could pretty much just get some ice cream, some milk, and some breakfast cereal and just crush that up. Why am I making this motion? Okay, sorry, I got the giggles there, but yeah, it's just... Vanilla is very underappreciated. People have this perception of vanilla as being, bland or the absence of flavor, which it's not. As anyone who's ever eaten plain, unflavored ice cream can tell you, i.e. me, because my grandparents had one of those hand-cranked ice cream makers, and it was literally just cream and sugar. That's all it was. And I will never forget that flavor, which is... It's definitely a different taste from vanilla ice cream. You can tell that there's no vanilla in here. It's basically just sugar ice cream. But anyway, that's all my thoughts on that, so see you around.